Hi, Steve from GuitarZoom here, and the next step, if you already watched the first video, the next step to being able to make your blues sound a bit more authentic is to expand your chords even more by turning them into bar chords and then expanding them from there, okay? So in the first video, if you haven't already watched that, what we did was we took the open chords and we shifted them from major chords into dominant seventh chords. And if you haven't already commented on that, please do so below, and let's start up some chat about it and discuss this, okay? So in this one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be converting then those chords into bar chords and then taking it to the next level, okay? So let's just take a look at 3 bar chords here. We're going to be looking at A7, D7, and E7. Now, instead of staying with that tonality, which works perfectly well, what we're going to do is we're going to convert these chords a little bit further. That's what we're doing in this video. So we're going to take this A7 chord, we're going to leave it as it is, okay? Now we're going to leave the pinky out for the time being. I'm going to show you something with that in just a second. But when we go to the D7 chord, instead of just going to a plain old D7, what we're going to do is we're going to convert that into a D9 chord, okay? So this is a great little voicing that you can use to make your blues even spicier, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm going to put my first finger on the 4th string on the 4th fret. I'm going to put my middle finger on the 5th string 5th fret. I'm going to put my ring finger on the 3rd string 5th fret and my pinky on the 2nd string 5th fret. I'm going to avoid the 1st and the 6th strings. I'm just going to deaden those out by touching those slightly. So I'm going to give it a little bit more of a, if I can say this, a jazz sound, okay? Just something a little different so they're not all just 7th or dominant 7th sounds. They're a little bit different. And then what I'm going to do is when I go to the E chord, the E7 chord right here, instead of going to an E7, I'm going to go to this as what we refer to as a sharp 9. So it's the same shape as the D. I'm going to move up 2 frets higher to the E, but I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to kick it out 1 fret. So this is going to be on the 8th fret instead of the 7th fret. Still on the 2nd string. And just like in the first video, it's really nice to be able to play these as bar chords because you have complete control over the strings. So you can lift your fingers and get a lot of really nice rhythm happening in there, okay? So now we've got an A7 chord, we've got a D9 chord, and we've got an E sharp 9 chord. Okay, so we're going to play the 12-bar blues here. All right, so if you don't have your guitar, grab your guitar, stop the video, grab your guitar, and let's do this together. So again, our 12-bar setup is going to be 4 measures of the 1 chord, which in this case is the A. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 measures of the 4 chord, which is D, 2 measures of the 1 chord, which is A again, and then we're going to do the last 4 measures, which is what we'll call the turnaround. We're going to play E sharp 9. Not E sharp, E sharp 9, D9, each for a measure, A7, and then back to the E sharp 9 again, okay? So here we go. And again, if you need to, you can always rewind this and play it as many times as you need to work on this, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2 more measures yet. Really work that rhythm. Here comes your D9. A. Here comes the E sharp 9. D9. Then A. Then back to that E sharp 9. Now, as you're doing this, I want you to really think about the rhythm that you're creating, not just the chords, although that's the first step, right? It's the way that you're playing. Make some groove. Feel the rhythm a little bit. Now, in my new blues course, what we're going to be doing is talking about all of these things. We're going to be talking about chords, embellishments, ways to approach your strumming, your rhythm dynamics, finger picking, all kinds of different things. We're going to be doing all kinds of cool stuff in there. But that's what I want you to think about a little bit is once you get used to the structure that your chording hand is trying to create, then the next step is to really start thinking about what your right hand is doing to make it more interesting for you to play and for a listener to actually listen to, right? Don't just play the same thing over and over and over. So let's try this again one more time, okay? And let's just think about that a little bit, okay? Make some different interesting rhythms with your strumming hand as you're doing this. Okay, so once you've got comfortable with those 3 chord shapes, the next thing to do is really start thinking about the authenticity of the strumming that you're doing. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Here comes the 4 chord. Back to the 1. 5 chord, sharp 9, 4, 1. Okay, so hopefully you're having fun with that. In the next video, we're going to be elevating this idea even further to make it even more interesting and even more fun for you to play, okay? So be watching for that video. Make sure that you comment below. You can like it, you can share it. I would sure appreciate that, okay? But be watching for my new blues course to be coming out very soon. It's going to be directed towards beginner to intermediate players, people that may have never been introduced to the blues or may have been introduced to the blues, but they're looking at ways of making the blues a little more interesting, a little more fun to play, which is so important so you're actually wanting to pick up your guitar and do things, right? So take care, and I'll see you in the next video.